Observation Point is what I would call a destination hike. We took the East Mesa trail since the main trail was closed due to a landslide. The 7 miles out and back going to Observation Point is woods and forest everywhere until you reach the overlooks. Go early as parking gets full and many places have huge no parking signage prominently displayed. If you're late, I would recommend parking at Ponderosa Ranch Resort and getting a shuttle from there. In this hike, my eldest son joined us, and as I watched my two boys bonding, laughing at some jokes only the two of them could understand, I was left with my own thoughts. Having several hours of quiet solitude with just the murmuring of butterflies, the buzzing of the bees, and the clicking of the cicadas as my background music, my mind traveled several decades back when I was still a young, struggling, single mother of 3. As a background, before my eldest son came for a visit, I was worried about him because he had been living across the globe and we hadn't heard from him for several months. I even asked my relatives living in the same country to do a welfare check on him. No news was not good news for me. I started imagining all sorts of nightmarish thoughts, worried sick to my stomach that something terrible had happened to my eldest son. Then I embarked on this blame game journey where I started blaming myself for being such a neglectful mother. I should have been more involved with his activities, friends, and general well-being. I should have communicated with him more often. I could go on and on with my I should haves. Rewind to some 20 years ago, I was a stressed single parent with 3 boys under my custody. My top priority was putting food on the table. I'd work super long hours to make both ends meet. As soon as I got home from work every night, I'd watch them play among themselves, give them a short "hello boys," and wearily go upstairs. After a quick shower, I'd crawl straight to my bed, read a book, and unwind so that I could sleep and wake up early again the next day. One night, as I went to my room, my youngest son, who was about 7 or 8 years old at that time, followed me to my room, lay down beside me, gave me a tight hug, and asked, "Mom, how come you never bond with us when you get home?" I just hugged him back and didn't really bother answering his question seriously. He wouldn't understand that I was wearing 2 hats. I felt that my dad role of earning enough money to make our lives more comfortable somehow overshadowed my nurturing mom role of taking care of them. At that time, we were living in a country that had an abundant and cheap supply of household help. I relied on this help to take care of the house and the boys while I worked long hours. I've also depended so much on my eldest son to take care of his younger siblings, discipline them, and provide a good example. I told him, from now on, you'll act more like their dad rather than their older brother. I put so much pressure on my eldest when I got separated. He was only 12 years old. Poor thing. That was my first mistake as a single parent. He took his role rather seriously and did such an excellent job that I totally neglected my own parental obligations. Good parenting is not just making sure there's enough food on the table or bringing your kids every weekend to the park. It's a continuous day-to-day interaction, listening to their stories, understanding their problems, sharing their joys and accomplishments, giving advice when needed, and giving them space when they ask for it. Even now at 63, after 3 decades of parenting, I still feel I haven't really learned everything there is to discover as a parent. Having 3 sons doesn't automatically make me an expert. Raising them alone doesn't give me the perfect parenting credentials. Being under the same roof with them from the time they were born until they became adults doesn't necessarily earn me the loving parent badge. I can read all the books available on parenting and still come up short. I may have felt that what I was doing at that time was more than enough, but now I know for sure I've failed in many aspects. Hindsight is indeed 2020. I was suddenly pulled out of my reverie when a large group of loud and excited teenagers merged with us. We had reached observation point. As my sons and I looked in awe at the view below us from one of the highest peaks in Zion, I looked at my sons with gentle, loving eyes, thanking God for giving me a second chance to make up for my bad parenting and shortcomings. Yes, I'm still a single parent, but I'm no longer the young and stressed mother I used to be. Unfortunately, I can't bring back all the lost years, but moving forward, I sincerely hope that it's not yet too late to show them my unconditional love.